I remember the first time I ever got presented a brief, and I saw my work in the brief, and I was like, "How the hell did you even see
Where
this?"
did you even get this from?
That's what I was thinking. Okay, cool, maybe. Ever since then, I was like, never again. And guess what I did? Next time I went,
You did it again.
I did it again.
There we go.
Yeah,
There.
my end of second year grade didn't feel that bad when I was looking at my modules and stuff. Third year.
Eeh.
If it wasn't for that third year, I would have got first. I'm not going to exactly get into the details of the projects.
Don't
but
worry, you
I
will
do plan to
see,
do more
we'll
projects,
see.
so.
Hey everyone, it's Miss Tee Moyo, the host of the That's the Tea show, and we have just 3 episodes left before the mid-season finale. Over this season, I have welcomed dancers to my sofa to come and tell their story, find out more about their success, and of course, as you know, spill the tea with them. Today's guest is categorically a global citizen, and you are lucky that I even managed to grab him to get him on the sofa to chat with me today. He is an established choreographer and movement artist that has spent the last few years building a global community, and his movement and philosophy working with major household names with the likes of Nike, BBC, JBL, World of Dance, Dell, YouTube, and so much more along the way. With years of experience under his belt, he shares a unique energy and ultimately creates a safe and productive learning environment for anyone in the space. You are going to gain so much insight and knowledge and wisdom from him today because his experience is extensive, and I feel like he has capitalized his dance skills better than anyone else that I've had on this sofa so far. It is with a great pleasure to welcome Johnny to the sofa. Give him a round of applause, guys. What did you think of the bio?
Yeah, that was nice.
I tried my best. It was even reading too fast. I was like, me can't do it. But
Yeah, no, thank you.
welcome. How are you feeling today?
For welcome. Yeah, no, I feel good. Yes, pleasure to kind of be on the sofa and like just be here.
You got the tea pillow as well.
Come on, inside.
Tell them about it.
Yeah,
Tell them about
man.
it.
Yeah, but we're here, man.
Oh, global
Yes.
citizen. When did you get back to the UK?
Yeah, early November.
Okay, give me a rundown of like where you've been like in the last quarter, because this is we're in quarter 3.
We're in quarter 4 now.
Quarter 4.
I believe, yeah.
What a year.
It's only like 5 weeks left in the month. 6
Oh,
weeks left in the year or
6 weeks
something.
left. Okay, tell me through like the last quarter where you've been traveling.
So, yeah, I mean, I spent kind of 2 months away from home. I was in the States for a bit. I was there for like a month.
Must be nice.
I went to Canada for like a few days and then came back to London to fly off to Australia because I had a camp there.
Wow.
Monsters of Afro. Shout out Passion and Purpose.
Shout
But yeah, I was in Australia for a bit, in Sydney, went to Melbourne, and then from Melbourne, kind of like gave myself a little vacation because I wanted to spend my birthday away from home.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I went to Korea, and then from there I was in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, Japan. Oh, and then I had Kazakhstan before I came back home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a World of Dance thing. So
your passport's just
yeah, I'm gonna be out of pages soon.
stamped up. Must be nice.
I'll be out of pages soon.
Do you know what I don't like? I don't like when I get to the border and they like flip like 3 pages and stamp. I'm like, can
Like,
we
way past.
can we just keep it consistent?
Yeah, I hate that.
Oh no, but how are you feeling about being back in London, 0 degrees outside? Honestly, what is it like to be back home?
It's nice. I mean, London will always be London. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to be back home with my people, family, and friends and stuff. At the same time, you know, you learn so much away from home and stuff, and you kind of like, I don't say you get addicted to the traveling, but for me, like, it's one of my favorite hobbies.
Okay.
So like, just be on the road and like just be seeing the world and stuff, and just be connecting and doing what I love as well. So the fact that I get to dance and travel,
Must be nice.
it's nice.
I think you're winning. I think what I'm looking forward to this episode, I've had a lot of content creators, I've had a lot of dancers. I haven't had a dancer on my sofa yet that has capitalized on the travel aspect and kind of globalized themselves as a dancer. And we'll get into that in a second. I want to ask you, before we get into this episode, if you had to summarize, when people are watching your episode, what do you want them to take away or to know about you after watching it, like the whole thing?
I kind of just want to show people that like everyone's journey, I guess, is like unique, if that makes sense. So what works for one person might not necessarily work for somebody else the same way, or it could. You never actually know. So you kind of just have to like submit yourself to the process, just be humble to the process, and like just be ready to put in the work or whatever work you feel like is necessary to kind of allow you to grow from grassroots to wherever you need to be, you know, wherever you aspire to be. And for me, I consider myself to be quite ambitious. So with that being said, like I put in a lot of work to try and be where I am,
Yeah.
and to continue growing to where I want to go to. So
Absolutely.
it's like, yeah.
I like that. I feel like that's definitely what I want to tap into this episode. Actually get a look into the work that goes behind the scene. Because I feel like from looking at your social media pages, we get a lot of the tip of the iceberg. I think we see the result of the work you put in very well. But like, I definitely want to talk more about how you actually got to where it is and what it took. I feel like your story is interesting and it's unique to others. But before we get into that, can you go through the basics? Name, age, and the title of everything that you do.
Yeah, so wait, when you say basics,
Like, okay, so I feel like a dancer is just it's just an overall term. What would you actually give your title at the top of your CV? What do you call yourself?
I would say dancer, but like I am a movement artist in its own right. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't just like, I guess in terms of dance is obviously a very general term. What do I do? Like choreograph, I can freestyle, I can perform, I can teach, I can create content, I can collaborate with brands, I can
Influencer.
You know, like it's just a bit of I would say I'm a creative artist / movement, but obviously catered around movement, so movement artist.
Okay.
But obviously all centered around dance.
Okay.
Sort of my love for dance and music. So
When would you say you became a movement creative? Because obviously you would have been you've been an influencer, dancer, teacher, choreographer. When did you take ownership of that title?
I really don't like that word influencer.
Why? Okay, wait. Why don't you like the word influencer?
Because
do you not influence?
No. Here's the thing. It's not that I don't. It's not that I would say I don't influence, but I just don't like what the words become.
Okay, what has
That
the
makes
word
sense.
become?
Like, you know what you see online, like when like influencers, the kind of image they portray and stuff. It's like they're not really influencing for the right reasons.
Okay.
So that's why I don't really like being attached to that word.
Interesting.
But
All right.
I guess you could say like I do influence. People. But I consider myself an artist. So not obviously your generic music artist or whatever, like dance artist, like do you know what I mean? That dabbles in different creative niches. But yeah, man. I feel like I've swayed away from the actual main question. What was the main question?
That's such a good question because I was listening to what you said, and now even myself I forgot. I was asking, when did you take the title of being an artist and not just telling people, hey, I'm a dancer, I'm actually an artist? 'Cause I find it so interesting that you actually categorize yourself as a movement artist, because then it leads the question to, what does it mean to be a movement artist?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, I guess when I started to like consider myself to be like a working professional in what I do. You see what I'm saying? Because for me, it's like, okay, how am I now like trying to constantly further my art? Like, you know, when you're just doing dance for like as a hobby or whatever, it's like, okay, cool.
For
I'm
vibes.
a dancer, it's vibes. But then when you classify someone as an artist, like someone who appreciates art, creates art, like for me, it's like, okay, when I started to actually, you know, monetize my craft and like start to take it seriously and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess in maybe the last few years.
I like artists. It adds that little je ne sais
Pizzazz.
quoi, the little
Yeah,
sprinkle.
Like
Okay, tell us about where you're from and your heritage and background.
So born and bred in London, but my heritage, Sierra Leone.
Shout out to Sierra
from
Leone.
West Africa. Yeah, man. Both my parents from Sierra Leone. Been there only once in my life, so I do need to go back.
So you've been to all these other places around the world. Do you have plans to go back?
100%.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting. I'm actually waiting for the right time. Not even waiting. I'm working on the right time.
Okay.
I don't want to just go aimlessly.
Okay.
I can obviously go for vacation, see family and stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to go with intention as well. So I do actually have some plans that I want to execute when I go back home. Even if it's not the first time I go back home, I want to work towards, you know,
At
just
some
baby
point.
steps, then cool.
We'll definitely come back to that later on in the show. So how would you say being born in East London? I feel like East London is quite a creative area. We were debating this. Where's the creative hub of London? Would you say it's East London?
100%.
Okay, why East London?
Like, if we're looking at like the events that happen,
Sure
the studios, I guess there's studios in South London as well, North London, like around London, but where the creatives sort of position themselves and where the community creates a vibe, I think East London's like where it's most popping.
Okay.
Just from what I've seen, that's my experience.
From your
For other
experience.
people, they could say South London, they could say Central London, whatever.
South, we need to pull it together. Because you can't have people be coming on the pod saying that it's East. But I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, South London's got a vibe as well. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm from East London.
Okay.
But even if I'm trying to think of it from the least biased perspective as possible, most neutral as possible. If I was not from London and I came to London, I think I would still think East London
East is the pop-in.
Yeah.
I appreciate the non-biasness. Like I said, South London, we've got a lot to work with. And being from Sierra Leone and being obviously from an African background, did you come from a creative family, or is your family creative, or what's that?
I think I come from an educated family.
Okay.
Not necessarily the most creative. Definitely not dancers.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you the only dancer in your
I'm
family?
the only dancer in my family.
Seriously?
Yeah, definitely not dancers. Not really. They could be creative. Maybe it's just a side of them I haven't seen.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel like I'm sort of like first generation creative in
Okay.
the family. So it's like definitely it caught them like this.
Just be like, looking side eye, like,
definitely caught them
oh,
like that, but-
okay. How many of you, in terms of siblings, are there?
I got 2 brothers
Mm-hmm.
and I got half siblings back home.
Okay. So in the UK, you got 2 brothers. They're academics. They're not in the creative.
I mean, one's working in trade, the other one is
wow.
learning a trade. So because one's older, one's younger.
Wow.
So-
You're middle child.
Yeah.
You don't give middle child vibes at all. You give oldest brother vibes.
I mean, I've had to, be that kind
Yeah.
of example to my younger brother as well. So I guess you could say that. It's a bit of both, best of both worlds.
Interesting. And like, what's your parents' take on you being a creative and actually doing it full time?
Do you want like the PG version? Or do
Now I
you
want the
like,
honest. This is
younger-
that's the T-shirt. I actually want the candid, honest answer.
I'll still keep it kind of PG, but like,
Yeah, of course.
It was tough. I had to be stubborn.
Okay.
I had to be real stubborn because, again, like when you're trying to like do something different in wherever it might be, but especially like in your family when like they're used to one way of doing things, and then you want to like have a different spin or different approach to your life.
Yeah.
This is again, they've helped you grow up. Like they've looked after you they've seen all the different phases, and then you one day get your own conscience.
Hey. And your own
Your head kicks in.
opinion.
You're like, this is what I want from my life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fall in line with what they want. It's like, ooh.
Okay.
So you have to be stubborn. Like
Okay.
I had to be stubborn to be where I am today. Yeah, because I could have easily like just been like, you know what? Because of the stress it brings from family and stuff, I'm gonna just go into a 9 to 5. I'm gonna just whatever, which I
Yeah.
did do at some points.
Okay.
But I'm like, speaking about me right now, I had to be stubborn.
Really?
Yeah, to be doing what I'm doing right now. So
There's going to be people that are watching this episode and that are going through the same thing. And I feel like I'm wanting to ask, what did that stubbornness cost you? Without, obviously, you don't have to, you can go in as much depth as you want, but what would you say that stubbornness cost you to get to where you are today? Obviously, what you're doing is incredible, but what are like some of the, I'm not going to lie, I was stubborn and it meant this, but it meant this as well.
peace of mind
Okay.
at some points. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, again, it's stressful. It's like, I mean, there's a saying that's like, anything worth having never really came easy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
So for me, it's like, I know in order to do what I'm doing, it's going to be very stressful. I was going to get a lot of nonsense in my ear from, sorry if you're watching this, parents. Please. I was going to get a lot of stuff in my ear from my parents about this is what they want from me, but, ultimately this is what I want from myself. And at least I think it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my parents could have given me a lot more of a hard time as well.
Okay.
Like I feel like it could have been a lot worse. But I also feel like don't expect it to be like a smooth journey.
Just going into it and being like, yeah, you go do what you
Yeah,
want to do.
you go, like in some cases that will be the case. And if that is the case and you get full support from your parents from day one,
Must be nice.
then that's amazing. I'm happy for you. But I feel like a lot of us can relate when it's like we're trying to do something different. And then our parents maybe don't necessarily see the vision at first.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. And it might not even just be parents. It might just be people in your immediate circle. It might be some friends that might not believe in it.
Yeah.
Or it might be extended family that, you're very close to, probably even closer to than some immediate family that are your support system.
Yeah.
And you don't get that same support that you might have wanted, but don't allow that to dishearten you, So for
Just
me,
keep
it's
going.
like having that firm head and just being like,
Supposed to be stubborn and knowing what you want.
Yeah.
What made you so sure that, do you know what, this is what I want? Because funny, I think our experiences are slightly similar because my dad, until I started getting paid to be a content producer and a presenter, this was a hobby. Me going off to film a podcast, he was like, are you getting paid? Like, how much is it costing you? Until he saw me getting paid for it, that's when it wasn't real. What would you say was the turning point for you that made your parents kind of soften up a bit and be like, okay, like kind of put their hands up and be like, he's going to do what he's going to do?
I think for me is when I started to get like, there's a mix of two. When I started to like get more brand deals, and I mean paid brand deals, not just like gifted things or whatever, like actually making good money and getting like the big checks from brands and stuff, but also getting flown out for stuff, like, because who's paying for your flights and who's doing all that stuff? Like,
Yeah.
It's not coming out of my pocket, just what I'm saying. So in some cases it might, but generally speaking, like if I'm going for like a gig or something, like I'll be looked after.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to, all the brands that I've worked with and
Absolutely.
the event organizers that I've worked with. Shout out to them. But yes, like just making sure that I'm looked after as the artist that I am, if that makes sense.
It's actually, you can see the manifestation of the results, like
Exactly.
physically, not
like,
just
you can
the passion.
See it. I don't have to tell you.
You just see it.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
So
just go
it's
to Instagram, you just scroll. You see it. You can see
no, like even if they don't necessarily follow me on social media, to my family and stuff, like they'll see a change in sort of maybe the way in which I conduct myself in life or whatever. So it's like, okay, cool. We can see this is not just a hobby thing. It's not just getting up one day with no plan and like just like going to go and do things for fun. Like, there seems to be like
strategy.
a regular occurrence here.
Yeah.
So let's trust him, kind of thing.
That is so
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
I love that you're at that point of your life, especially when you have parents that... I think it's difficult. When you have parents that put you down, it's one thing. But then if you have parents that I think just don't understand or they don't see the vision because it's not their dream, it's not their purpose, it's very hard to kind of convince them. And sometimes you just have, like you said, you have to be stubborn and just keep doing it. But what I want to know is what made you decide to be stubborn? What was like your thought process that was like, I'm going to do this anyway?
It's the love for the art, man.
Okay.
Like with anything else that you love in life, like you're gonna be stubborn with it. Like if you, I don't know, think of the thing that you love most in life. Like if somebody tried to like put a seed into your head, a seed of doubt, you're not gonna just accept the doubt straight away. Like you're gonna fight for what you love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, just the question is how much are you willing to fight for it? And like for me, I'm willing to fight for what I consider to be like my livelihood. So it's like, yeah, man, I love dance. I love creating art. So, yeah, no matter what it is that's going on in my life, I always try and find a way to make time for that. Like, unless maybe something happens, if it's like health or if it's like my environment, or whatever it is, where I actually generally can't dance, I'm gonna be dancing.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm gonna shake my leg, like, yeah, man, I'll do it. So, yeah, man, definitely the love for it. The love for it, yeah.
So we're going to talk about your dance career now. Now, growing up as a teenager, how did dance come into the picture?
So dance has kind of always been it's been a big part of the culture from where I'm from. So family functions, weddings, even funerals, bro, like dance is always going to be something that comes up at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's always kind of been there. In terms of like doing it like as a hobby, wasn't in the picture maybe till 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I used to run like track, I used to do other sports or whatever, just play football, whatever, cool. But more seriously, do athletics up until like 16, 17. And I kind of dropped that because my studies were getting quite heavy.
Okay.
I was like, having to commit more time in a week, like doing maybe 3-4 days of like intense training a week, just felt like a lot at the time.
Oh,
so
this is
like,
GCSE time, isn't it?
I finished GCSE, so going into A-levels.
Oh, okay,
like,
A-levels.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, you know at the time A-levels is like your entire world. It's like,
they're even telling you, isn't it they say in school they told us your A-levels are harder than your degree.
Don't ever let anybody come and bring that nonsense to you. A-levels are not harder than your uni degree. I'm telling you now, I'll tell you for free. Maybe in some cases, I think like with the B-Tech or whatever, but I'm talking about actual A-level, what I did.
What did you do at A-levels?
Physics and maths, further maths, A-levels. I did biology for AS, but I dropped that so I could focus on those three. Yeah. In A2, but yeah.
And then you was doing track on top of that as well?
Bruh, for like half of it.
Okay.
Second year, I kind of was like, yeah, let me ease off. I was still training a bit, but then I was like, yeah. So then that's roughly around the time that I started to dance a lot more in terms of like as a hobby.
Okay. That's so interesting. Yeah. What was the plan with athletics? Were you going to go professional or? I
wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
At one point. Like I was competing maybe like up to, not national level, but like regional level.
Oh, wow.
And then...
so you can actually run really fast?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Wow. It's just that I ain't really been training, do you know what I mean? So it's like, but I could still run. Like, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, after a while, I was like, cool, push that to the side. And then I missed it, don't get me wrong, because I really enjoyed competing. It's just the training aspect that was like, especially them winners. Was it Myland?
You're still going to be running outside. They don't care.
Winners were crazy. But yeah, no, so that pushed to the side. And I started to like just dance for fun. There was my friend I used to dance with, Samuel. Actually, I had two friends called Samuel that I used to dance with. So yeah, I used to dance with them, just make videos in the music room back in sixth form. Back when Instagram was like 15 seconds. Like,
Richie and I were talking about this yesterday.
So short.
You had 15 seconds to show us what you've got.
1-5, not 50, 1-5, 15 seconds. So it's like, yeah, man. It was, I don't know, social media was so much more different back then.
Yeah.
Back when, I mean, Insta was like it was a photo app.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even optimized for video like
Yeah.
that. So 15 seconds was kind of like, it felt like a privilege.
To even be on this
able to
platform,
use-
show me what you got.
Exactly. So you look back at it now, the quality is just all mad meaty and stuff. We used to have like the white borders, the ratios are different. We need to have like reels and all that stuff. Like,
The filters as well.
yeah, the 2010 kids won't know, man.
Oh, if you know, you know.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what was up to,
Mm-hmm.
like pre 2015. 2015 comes now, I start uni. Yeah, sort of the last part of my teen years.
Yeah.
So, just got to uni. That's when I met Richie. And yeah, we just hit it off. I remember like we was there in a uni ecom. We had a mutual friend. Had some music, vibing, jamming. He walks in, I'm vibing.
Jamming.
Hit it off, man. Just like, yeah, man. And we've been best friends like since. So
That's so funny.
yeah, man. So
Richie told the story yesterday. For those who don't know, Richie's episode was last week. Make sure you go and check that out and then come back here and continue this one.
Yeah.
It was hilarious listening to how you guys met. If I recall correctly, he was like, oh, hi, what's your name? You were like, oh, I'm Johnny. He's like, I'm Richie. And you were like, do you like to dance? He's like, yeah. Do you want to make a video? Yeah. I was like, boy friendships are so easy.
so simple.
You're just so simple. Be like, hi, shall I go out? Do you want to play kickball? Yeah, let's be friends. Okay. It's like, but it's so nice that you guys to this day still dance together, still work together, still making money together. But I want to go back and just find out, like, what got you hooked into dance in the first place? What made you think, this is something interesting and this is something that I want to get involved in?
You see, with dance, yeah, like for me, like I didn't plan to even go this far with dance.
Oh, really?
It was never part of the plan. I never started dancing because I wanted to go pro. I wanted to travel the world. I didn't start dancing because of that.
Okay.
I started dancing just because it made me feel good.
Okay.
And to this day, that's one thing that's never changed. Like it's still, that's the one driving force that keeps me dancing. Because I know how I feel before I dance. I know how dance makes me feel afterwards.
Okay.
So I'm like, that feeling is euphoric, bro. Like, it's just, yeah,
Can't
for me, I'm like, I can't compare it to anything else. That is why I do it so much.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, that's the one thing that's like kept me, that's what got me into it. Like,
Into the
proper.
first place. That's
It's
what
the love
keeping you
for
here.
it. Yeah, I'll constantly always reiterate, like, it's the love for it. Like, I would not put this much time to something I didn't love.
Honestly, I think
That's what I'm
it's too strenuous. It's too much training and too much energy required if you don't love it.
Yeah.
Which is funny that I'm seeing that as a common theme. Everybody has this like undying love for either music or dancing that's kept them sustained and kept them going. And I have to ask, was there a particular genre or style that you saw and you were like, yeah, this is the one? Was it always Afro or did you start off doing a different style?
I started in Azonto.
Is it?
Yeah, I started in Azonto,
Okay.
to be specific. Yeah, always loved African music. But there was a phase, like 2012 to 2014, when African music started like
Popping. Yeah.
Like, before then, it wasn't really cool to listen to Afro like that, or anything African like that, music that came out of Africa. So you might listen to it, but it'd be like behind closed doors.
Yeah, or at home.
It'd be a bit more quiet. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
okay.
It wasn't loud like it is now. Where like now, anywhere you go, you can't not hear Amapiano,
I'm a
or you can't
bit
hear.
of a bit.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, but back then, Niger Pop was banging.
Okay.
Ozonto was coming through.
All right.
So Nigerians had it at the time, then Ghanaians started to take over. That 2012 to like maybe like 2015, I would even say 2016, Ghanaians were in charge, bro.
They were running the
so
show.
that was the period where I actually got into Ozonto.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was seeing videos online. I remember seeing like different people in like the UK, like special shout out to Homebrews, of course, because at the time, their videos did inspire me quite a lot. And then, yeah, like there was other people, you know, there was Lulu, there was Jaina City, there was Bonks, all of them lot that were in the uni scene at the time.
Yeah.
I believe. I would see their stuff and I'm just like, bro, I need to learn that. Just what I'm saying, like,
I wanna be like this.
I wanna be making videos like this one day. If not, go a bit further, go a
Lo
bit beyond.
and
You know what I'm
behold.
saying? So it's like, but it was just like, okay, cool, it's just a bit of fun. If it doesn't happen,
If it doesn't happen,
it doesn't
else,
happen.
right?
Just what I'm saying.
That's so
So-
mad. I find that so interesting that everyone says that they were in upper secondary school or in secondary school when Afrobeat started popping off. I was lucky. I was in primary school when that phase came out, and that
Well, she was still sitting at SATs, man.
I can't lie, and I got to end. So I went to a predominantly white primary school, and then my secondary school was very mixed. And I remember it was so cool. So it was my transition just because of where I grew up. And I remember like the girls would just be in the drama room, and it was so cool. And I was just like, wow, this is normal for me. But the fact that you guys actually kind of remember when Afrobeats kicked off and started being popular, and kind of seeing you guys yourselves in the media and seeing, okay, I can actually do this. And then obviously you went on to become one of the pillars in university who popularized that style of dancing. Isn't that like that? When I think about it, it's actually so cool. The fact that you watch these people, now you've become the inspiration that's probably going to inspire the next generation. But at the time, did you think you'd ever become what you are today to inspire the people that are watching you?
Nah, not really. Again, it was just a bit of fun.
So vibes.
Like, it's just a bit of vibes. Like, back then, in fact, even still now, like, vibes were like the biggest sort of driving force. Obviously, you got the love for it, individually speaking, but as a community, what makes like Afro what it is, I think it's the energy it carries, it's the vibes. Other styles of dance maybe don't have that same kind of energy and love and that community feel about them. So I guess that's kind of what made it unique. It's like, that's what allowed me to kind of like connect with other people in the scene a bit easier, as opposed to like other styles. I also, like for me personally as well, I wasn't really the most extroverted person as well. I kind of had to learn to be more confident, outgoing, and like doing these things. Like when I started doing more performances and stuff and like collaborating with people, I learned to become a bit more social. Cause it just felt very illegal being a dancer but being shy.
I hear it.
I don't know, there's something that just felt very, I mean, some dancers, mad shy. When they
when
get into their zone,
the music comes, boom.
They're different people. But like for me personally, I also wanted to become a bit more social and like confident and whatever. So I used that sort of as a time to also find myself and sort of grow my personality a bit so I could connect with a wider sort of pool of people as well in the community. So yeah.
I like that because like you said, you automatically assume dancers are confident because in order to get up on a stage like that, you don't just wake up and just do it. But the fact that there's dancers out there that are like, do you know what, outside of the stage setting, I'm a bit more reserved. But once the music hits, and it's so interesting to hear that you decided that, you know, I want to push myself out of my comfort zone and become somebody who's not just confident on the stage but actually off camera as well. And would you say that's the reason why you kept filming? Because if you're introverted, you don't necessarily like desire to pick up a camera and start filming. It's not on the top of your head. But do you think that's what inspired you to just keep going, keep filming, keep posting and keep putting yourself out there?
Yeah, I think one thing that I'm thankful for is that like a big portion of the community has always kind of been a good support system for me as well. So I've built some very good relationships with people in the community, and they've, you know, as much as I've supported them, they've also supported me back and stuff. Like, it's always been like a mutual kind of give and take. It's not just take, but you're also giving the same love that you might be receiving. And even if you don't feel like you're receiving as much love, just being that sort of kind of positive light sometimes, you'll reap the benefits from it. So like for me, like I've had a really sort of good support system from when I started dancing till now, I would say. Which has helped me stay confident in what I do. I don't really like to seek external validation, but it does help when you do have that support system there.
From people that know you and love you.
From people that know me and love me, from the people that I might not even necessarily know. Like, you know what they say about social media sometimes, like the most random people sometimes support you the most. Like,
it's true.
So, and it does a lot. It does a lot. It does a lot for your confidence. So that did help me build some confidence within dance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And would you say that you were a good dancer from the get-go, or is it something you had to work from the beginning?
Absolutely not. I was never, like I didn't start like this.
I don't believe you. I'm so sorry. I don't believe you.
The amount of work I put into being where I am today needs to be studied, bro.
It's not that I don't believe you. It's just, when you say you didn't start off good, what do you mean you didn't start off well as a dancer? Are we talking technique? Like, what do you mean? Like,
define good.
Like, good, I don't know, like, you know, an energy, the choreography bangs, just like, I don't know, it's clean. You make the dance, you don't make the dance look difficult, you're just smooth with it. Yeah, I think that's, oh Lord.
How do I put this simply? I wasn't great. Like, generally speaking, like, just looking, sometimes when you just look at something, and you look at it and you're like, okay, cool. This is amazing. This is trash. Like, I was not good. But I guess what you could say is at the time, for the standard of, like, for what I was doing, like, it could be considered to be of an okay standard.
See, this is what I wanted
to
to know. I wanted to know, was it like you just like, you're looking at the video like, oh my gosh, this person cannot dance? Or because, okay, for example, we were going through my Instagram pictures from when I first got Instagram. At the time, like the pictures was revolutionary. Isn't that right?
That's what it would feel like.
It felt,
That's
at
what
the
it would
time,
feel like. Yeah, at the time.
But obviously now looking back now, by 2024 standards, it's deplorable. And it was awful. But like, are you saying that just for the time it was okay and you're looking back now thinking, wow, this isn't it? Or was it a case of, no, this person, it's not.
I mean, I would like to think that, you know, that the people around me were not necessarily being fake.
Okay.
So if they thought it was good or whatever, and I at the time felt like it was good enough to post, then what conclusion can I draw from that? Like, it must have been okay. At the time, it must have been okay. I'm speaking right now.
Okay.
When I look back at my old stuff, bro, like, for me personally, I'm just like, thank God for growth. That's what I can say. Thank God for growth.
The biography is going to be great because you'll be like, this is where I started,
this is where I started, this is where I am. It's like, yeah, I mean, that wouldn't have come without all the training, practice, this, that, all the things I've learned, places I've been to and things I've seen and stuff, do you know what I mean? But for what it was, I think maybe it's just, again, you look at it relative to the time it was.
And in hindsight.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't the worst. Let's put it that way.
It was that.
It was that.
Do you have any of the videos?
Pardon?
Do you have any of the videos?
I do in my archives, like stashed away somewhere.
Are the people them allowed to see? Are the people them allowed to see some of them throwbacks?
Yeah, I'll send you some so you can put them up. And stuff.
Oh, guys, Johnny has been willing to share his videos.
Of course, it's part of the journey, innit? Like,
exactly.
It's part of the journey. So again, don't feel like, because it's part of what makes you who you are today. So it's like, don't feel ashamed of it. Just feel free to laugh at it as well, like laugh at your old stuff or whatever, and appreciate the growth as well.
Okay, guys, let's all appreciate the growth together. We're going to show you guys a throwback of what Johnny used to dance like.
I'm still watching. Okay, cool. Okay.
Cool. So we want to move on and speak about like your education, uni experience, and just what that experience looked like. And what is nice is that the last week's episode, next week's episode, and your episode are going to have like a lot of crossovers with your experience. But we obviously want to hear from your perspective. So where did you go to uni? What did you study? And what qualification did you get?
I went to University of Leicester. I studied physics, and I got a 2-1.
Let me tell you guys, the guests on this show, not only are they talented, they're educated. Don't play with me. Season 1, after the mid-season finale, don't even play with me. I'm going to get some scholars on here. But now, congratulations, 2-1 in physics.
Appreciate you, man. No, it wasn't easy.
I don't think
that final year was one of the hardest things I've seen in my life, man. Like,
I don't think it's easy for anyone to go to university to study that subject, come out and do it like you did it.
Anyone doing science at uni, you have my respect. But anyone who's balancing creative life with a science, you have my utmost respect, man, because it's not easy.
That is madness. Who was the deciding factor? Who pushed you to study physics at uni? Was it your decision, or was it something that your family had an influence on? Or
my decision.
Is it?
Yeah. I love numbers.
Love that.
Yeah, I love numbers. So I'm a bit of a nerd.
I love that. What kind of nerdy stuff are you into?
I mean, what is anime class? And like just I guess general like space stuff and like just anything that if I don't know, I could be on my TikTok for you page. I'll just see some random like algebra stuff, and I'll actually watch it. Like I'll actually sit down and watch that stuff because I like that stuff.
Do you know how to balance equations?
Balance equations?
Yeah.
But that was my bread and butter.
Oh, sorry. Some of us really had to try it in school. Yeah. Damn. Oh my goodness, physics. What was the plan going into physics after you'd graduated? Dance aside, what was the original plan?
You want to be honest?
Honest.
I didn't 100% know.
Okay.
I had an idea, but I was open to like, because my degree was so broad, I was like, kind of wherever I go into that allows me to do what I love, which is like some form of like problem solving into the real world or whatever, or being innovative, I'm gonna do it. So it could have been like anything in like software engineering maybe, or like aerospace.
That's madness.
Yeah. I don't know, something like, I considered finance, but I was just like, that just might be a little too boring for me.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like, yeah. Wow. Something in the engineering realm.
That's madness, because I feel like you've got in the sense, madness as in good madness, not bad madness, good madness. In the sense that you've got the best of both worlds. You have a background that's quite heavily academic, but then you've gone into the creative field. So what's your take on like traditional vocational subjects like your medicine, your finance, your law, and then going into things like art, music, dance? Where do you stand, especially when you think about, maybe when you have children and they want to go into the creative field, or are you going to push them traditional, going to push them... That was such a long-winded question. I think I asked 3 questions in one.
You're good. I think with the vocational stuff, like, obviously, like, we need people in society that do that stuff, innit? So I think it's about balance. So obviously you look at your field and you're like, okay, cool. What do I kind of want for myself? Do I feel like I love what I do enough for me to kind of go into that? Or do I love this creative stuff more kind of thing? If there's a way to make the two mix, great. But in a lot of cases, they probably won't mix. So it's like, you then have to ask yourself the hard question of what do I want to do? Which is kind of what I'm still asking myself to this day.
Really?
Yeah. Because even though like I'm so far deep into the creative stuff, doesn't mean to say that my skills or my technical skills have also kind of just dissolved. They're still there. And I still love doing that stuff. It's just, what do I love more? And it's kind of always something that I'm asking myself. Because when you're in the world of when you're in the creative industry, it's very volatile. Like I'm talking about in terms of financially speaking, in terms of just the environment and how work comes about and how it disappears and where you might find yourself.
You get highs, you get lows.
Yeah, you have highs and you have lows. So it's just like, do I prefer stability over instability, creative freedom? Do I like that order in life? Do I like a bit of chaos?
Yeah.
Like, what do I want?
What do you want?
There's so many things. There's so many like variables. So it's a bit of a tough one. I don't know exactly how I'd advise somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
If it was like my kids or something, I would kind of just tell them to go in the direction of what you love the most, within reason. If it's gonna get you paid and you're gonna be okay, then do it. If not, just make sure you're fine and make sure you're okay. Do what you need to do for yourself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So where do you stand on the statement or like the mindset of you have to do something traditional first until you've saved up enough money and then you can go into your hobby?
I'm 100% with that. Okay. I think definitely have something like go to school, get your education, do all of that stuff. If you can, whilst you're doing that, pick up, like learn a skill from young, because you just never know. Like, I mean, 15 years ago, if we had said TikTok was going to be a thing in 15 years, we'd be like, what the hell is a TikTok? What's that? Like, clock. Even phones couldn't even record how they do now.
Oh my gosh.
They could, I don't know, you
have to come on the inside.
You know what I'm saying? It just felt like a sci-fi type plot to a movie. It's like, we're actually living out this in reality.
All the time.
And it's mad. So it's like, you never know what the future's going to hold if it's 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah.
So I would say if you can, learn a skill. If it's an art or whatever, cool, great. Do that. Find something you love. But at the same time, make sure you're like well-versed in something, a trade or something, whatever it is, that you know, if this doesn't work out, or it doesn't matter whichever way or trajectory my life goes in or the world moves in, I know I've got these skills, like I've got these skills that I can like adapt to fit in a workplace or whatever. Okay. So it's kind of like what I would advise. I
like that mindset. Yeah. So work in that trade and have your backup until you can move on to the thing that you really want to be doing. Yeah. When would you say in uni was the point that you said, okay, look, I've got the foundation, I've got the skills, now I can move on and actually pursue my creative side? Was there a time in uni when you decided, okay, I'm gonna not go further with physics, I'm gonna stop it here, I'm gonna 100% plunge into the creative field?
I don't want to put it all based on like a timeline, because I didn't like, I didn't say, oh, by this time, like by this specific date, I want to be at this point, or by this specific, like I had goals and stuff, but it wasn't like concrete. It's not like, oh, if I didn't hit this goal by this time, I'm going to give up on it.
Okay.
So it's like, I knew that I just wanted to finish education. That was my like major, like, I knew once I'm done education, I then have the freedom to choose what I want to do, what direction I want to go in. Ironically enough, around that time, I met one of my mentors in dance, like maybe the year before I finished. So when I finished, I came out to London, I took it upon myself to actually start training in dance, like properly. So that's when I actually started training properly. And that also fell in line with God's divine timing. It fell in line with when I actually started working, doing more commercial brand work.
Okay.
So when I came out to London, everything just molded like this. It was perfect. Like 2018, I always say is one of my best years for me, personally, in terms of my achievements and stuff.
2018
one of my favorite years. Yeah.
We'll talk about 2018 and what happened in that year. I wanted to go back and actually ask you if you applied for any like grad schemes. Did you do any physics related jobs after university, or was the focus training, dancing, creating?
Nothing like solely physics related. I mean, I was working in data / tech / finance-ish a bit. I was doing testing for like a year. And then I was like, this is not for me. So this is so boring, bro. I had no motivation. Every day I would wake up to go work. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, so I just left. I left. I made 2 good friends on that job, I remember. And then, so I'd left that, we stayed in contact. And then, so they helped me like with my CV and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then, pardon. And then the next year, I was just working in the creative side of things, just doing like jobs and doing brand stuff. That next year I actually got signed to the agency that I was with.
At that time?
Yeah, at the time. And then stayed with them literally up until this year. During that, the following year, I took up another job, another full-time job in marketing.
Okay.
This was actually so that I could learn social media a bit better. Like with the other side.
Okay.
Because I was, me being the influencer or the artist, I'd seen this side of things, but I also wanted to know what's happening on the other side. What goes behind the scenes, like an agency and all of that. So that's why I started doing some marketing to learn the whole ad side of things and all of that stuff.
That's so smart.
So yeah.
I don't know if I'm correct in saying, but I don't think a lot of creatives think in that sense. They don't think to either go get the qualifications or education to actually profit themselves and put themselves in the best position. One thing my mom always said is, if you're going to do something, get the education behind it. So I'm studying to be a journalist because she's like, you can't just be a presenter. And I'm sorry, I can't be a DJ. I tried it one time. I just can't do it. But she was like, if you're going to do it, go back to school, become a journalist. That way you're a presenter, but you're a presenter who knows how the media space works, who knows how to market yourself. And I think a lot more dancers would have a lot more... what's the word? Commercial. I feel like they'd have a lot more commercial success if they fought in that way and not just popularizing themselves on social media and getting views and getting the branders. Like you said, not just the branders where they send you free stuff, but actually being in rooms to make decisions, create choreography, lead a project, do whatever it is. And I wonder how many more dancers would see another level of success if they thought in that way. And I find it interesting that you went and you did marketing. But like, how did you find it? How did you find the job? What did you learn?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I learned a lot on the job. Just for me, it was a very overwhelming period.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was around the time where I think for me, dance really started to like take off even further. So it was very hard to balance a full time with that job.
Yeah.
I feel like in another life, I would have potentially still been working in marketing maybe and been in a higher up position. Just because I did enjoy it, but I felt like I wanted more. Yeah. I wanted more from what I was doing on the other side of things. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, let me go head first.
Dive in and let's do this. Yeah. A lot of creators that I've interviewed so far have said, you know what, I told myself this year I'm just going to commit and see where I can be in a year, and look at where we are today. Yeah. Can you tell me about your university experience? Because I feel like you went to uni probably during the best years when it was popping. And lockdown ruined you. I didn't go uni, but the year we went into lockdown, and then the next 2 years after that, everything was shut down. But I feel like your uni experience was like the YouTuber's dream of uni. How was it?
Yeah, man. I think I agree in saying that. I feel like we went to uni just the right time.
At the perfect
right
time.
before lockdown. Because if I was studying during lockdown, I would have pulled the hair out of my scalp. Like, genuinely, I would not have had the motivation to be studying. Let alone doing exams, coursework, all of that. Group work over
Zoom.
Over Zoom.
Over Teams. Nah, we can't do
No,
it.
sorry,
Nah.
not me. But yeah, I feel like we went around the right time as well. Because, like, we just finished. So, okay, cool. So we had like the big clash and all that stuff.
Of course.
Entertainment wise, the clubs and stuff, everything was like popping. Like, everything was just good. Everything just made sense. For me personally, I enjoyed my time at uni.
Oh, must be nice.
I enjoyed. No. 100%.
Enjoyment.
Yeah. But at the same time, I did buckle down and make sure I got my degree. Like you can enjoy as much as you want, but like, you just got to be sensible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of like what I would say. I think, yeah, the time was very good.
The time was had and the had was timed.
Yes.
How did you balance it all, like, practically? What did your weeks, like a standard week, look like with all the dancing you were doing and then all the studying? Maybe take me through a week where you had lots of assignments, maybe exams, and it was just like, okay, I actually have to come here for what I came for, which is the degree.
Kind of like, I was behind a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was behind a lot of the time.
Richie says, yeah.
Yeah, man, I was behind a lot. But I feel like it happens. Like, even as hard as you try to stay on track in uni, it's just something in the air as a uni student that just pulls you back like this. You just have to stay focused. Like, you just have to, like, because life just happens, especially when you study away from home. Like, just things will come up to, like, different curveballs will come up and you won't expect it.
Yeah.
So when you plan your week, you have to always like leave gaps in there for things where you might not expect certain things. But if you plan to leave things kind of like last minute with like, I know I'm going to kind of get to this or whatever, that's the beginning of the end. Like, because it's an endless spiral. Until the year's over, you're not going to catch up. So it's like...
Tough times.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
What was that final year like for you? Because final year is this, you don't mess about. It's serious things.
Final year was, oh my goodness. Like, for me, it's the workload.
Yeah.
Because like the stuff is difficult as well, but the workload just increases even more. It just keeps going. Like, I feel like with the first year, it's like getting everyone to speed. So first year was like a breeze.
Okay.
Like, for me, it was a breeze.
Wow.
Second year was that, okay, cool, this is uni.
Now,
wake up call.
This
It's
is further education.
This is what further education really is. But I still had it. I was like, okay, cool. Like, my end of second year grade didn't feel that bad when I was looking at my modules and stuff. Third year. If it wasn't for that third year, I would have got first. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. If it wasn't for third year, I would have got first.
Wow.
Third year pulled me down. I'll say that because I'm just being honest, innit?
Yeah.
But I'm only human, man. I tried.
You
I
tried. 2-1 is
Do you
still
know what I mean?
amazing in physics.
Yeah. I feel like if I was to go for that first, it would have come at a cost. I don't know what the cost would have been.
Okay.
But I'm happy that my uni experience went the way it did.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I feel like I'm happy with what I got out of uni. So I'm not looking back at it with any regrets. Like, oh, I wish I got that first. Oh, I wish I could have done more. No, I'm happy with all the work that I put in because I know I put in a lot of work to
No
be
regrets.
where I was. Just what I'm saying.
I love that.
But yeah.
What did your dance life look like? Because according to Richie, you guys were the guys. You were the guys in the dance.
Bro, I mean, yeah, like in uni, like we were definitely quite popular because of dance, I'd say as well. Richie had been dancing before I had been dancing, to be honest. So he already sort of had a name for himself in terms of dance. But like doing things like Big Clash and stuff was like, yeah, definitely helped me in terms of like meeting people, especially like in my uni and stuff, because a lot of the people in my circle didn't go to my uni. We went to uni in the same city, but they went to a different uni. So it's like, it helped me sort of like connect with other people in my uni. But yeah, man, like we'll do different bookings and stuff, like little chicken change, you know, like we'll go to different places, like we'll perform at this party, we'll do this wedding, we'll do this, whatever it might be, like just little things. We might do like little social events or whatever for ACS and stuff. Just make a bit of bread from it and then go back to our studies kind of thing.
I love that. It's like giving dancing during the night, study by day,
Right.
and do it again the next day.
Yeah. So
What's your best memory from uni? Apart from Big Clash, what is one of your fondest memories from your time at uni?
that's a tough one.
Was it?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Because
So many memories.
There was a lot of memories. There was a lot of good memories as well. Like, there's It's a tough one.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint one exact
Do you have a couple?
standout memory. Yeah, I think. So for me, Big Clash was one of them. I'd say getting to live with my friends, because that's a period in life where that's the only time you actually get to live with your friends.
It's true.
So like, I think the experience of being able to live with your friends, because first year I didn't really get to live with my friends like that. I met them then, but I didn't live with them.
Okay.
Second and third years, I got to live with them. So it's
Yeah.
like, it was nice. It added to the experience.
One big modern family.
Yeah, added to the experience for sure. What else? I guess just like traveling the country and stuff, like going up to different cities and stuff, and like, yeah, just that's where I kind of like realized I like to travel a bit.
Oh, so
Even
you
though that
was
was
even
local.
traveling in uni? You was going up and down?
We'd go to bookings, not just in Leicester. We would go to bookings maybe in Manchester, or like, I remember we went to Derby once, no? Derby, Sheffield, like we'll go to like different places, like we'll come back to London regularly, like every week. We just come back to London randomly, like, what? Bro, you're not meant to be in, you know, lectures. Like, yeah, no, we just came back for maybe a couple of days and then knowledge. So
I love that.
just traveling the country. That's what I kind of realized. I like to travel.
You like to
I
travel.
like the thrill of traveling a bit.
What is it about traveling that you enjoy so much?
Almost missing train and catching it.
You're one of them people you're one of those people. No, because you'd actually stress me out. What time do you arrive? Okay, hold on, quick question. Your flight's at 3 p.m. What time are you arriving to the airport?
Depends. It depends on some variables.
Depends
what am I
on
carrying?
what?
Because if I need to check in my luggage, I'm coming earlier. If I don't need to check in my luggage, I'll come a bit later.
Okay.
So if my flight's at 3 p.m. And I have a big suitcase to check in,
Yeah.
I'll come 3 hours before.
Okay.
If I don't have anything to check in, 2 hours.
That's even cutting it. That's cutting it a bit.
It is cutting it short,
That
but
stressed me out.
it just depends, because I always check and I'll be like, because sometimes they update the airport thing and they'll say, okay, cool. If it's busier than usual, you need to come slightly earlier. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. They've started to do that recently. Before, they never really used to do that. So, yeah, man.
That's
like,
insane.
3 hours. What am I getting there 4 or 5 hours before for? If it's a long haul flight, 4 or 5 hours. If it's anything 3 hours or less,
I don't even
3
care.
hours.
If my flight's at 3 p.m., 10 a.m. we're at the airport.
That's crazy.
10 a.m.
I hear it though. I hear it.
I'm
There was
not
one time.
taking
There was one
no
time
chances.
I went to Birmingham Airport, I think. Birmingham or Manchester Airport, one of them.
Okay.
And treated it like any regular trip to the airport. Got there maybe 2-3 hours before. My goodness, that queue, the longest queue I've ever seen in my life. When I say it came out of the airport, here all the way. You know how they have like parking lots.
Yeah.
Went
all the
into
way
the parking
around.
lot, stretched around the parking lot. Excuse me.
Now, if you'd arrived there at 10 a.m.,
That's when I started to think,
you would have got your flight.
That's when I started to think, okay, cool, maybe. Ever since then, I was like, never again. And guess what I did? The next time I went,
You did it
I
again.
did it again.
There we go.
Yeah,
There.
man.
Very
So,
good.
Happens, man.
We'll talk about your traveling later, because even me, I have questions. Obviously, I take questions from your fans. I take questions from Instagram. But even me, I've got questions to ask about your traveling, because I'm thinking, wow, you're doing your thing. But let's actually talk about the year 2018. What happened that year?
That's the year I graduated.
Love that.
And obviously, being like it's not obvious, but being a nerd my whole life, that's the one thing I could not wait for that day where I could say I finished education.
Just throw your hat up in the air.
Throw my hat up in the air.
Love that.
So that, for me, that was one of my biggest life achievements. 100%. But
Wow.
also, another one of my big life achievements was that I got to work with one of my favorite childhood brands, being Nike.
Love that.
That was the first time I did. That was my first time I ever did really a big brand collaboration, and it was with one of my favorite brands.
I'm one of the biggest brands in the world.
As my first.
Wow.
Are you mad?
That's insane.
So I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, just those two things alone for me. I look back at that year with sort of like a big smile on my face. I'm like, yeah.
As you should. What else happened?
2018. Yeah, that was when the year that I turned 21. I just realized.
Oh my gosh, you did all that at 21?
Yeah, because
Damn.
Yeah, I was 21, 22
Yeah,
at
because you
the time. I was
graduated, yeah.
Yeah, 21. So I was turning 22 that year. So yeah, like being a fully fledged adult, going back to London.
That's insane.
Yeah, like for me, that was just like, yeah, that's why for me, it's sort of.
It's a
means a lot.
memorable time.
Yeah.
I want to know, did you do anything the year, like just before entering that year? Did you have a certain mindset? Did you write certain goals? Is there anything that you did that you feel like contributed to the year being what it was? Or did it just happen that, do you know what, this was the plan for me and this is just how 2018 happened?
For me, it's like, I don't know, everything was riding on that year because it's like, you know, with uni, you put yourself in so much like financial debt just to say, okay, I've got this one piece of paper. So I was like, I have to make sure that this year I get this
Thanks.
degree, and I make sure that everything has been worth it. From my parents coming to this country, deciding that we're going to situate ourselves here, and we're going to put all our trust in this kid to like make us proud and stuff.
Yeah.
I had to do it for them. Do you know what I'm saying? But also for myself.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I don't know. I kind of just went in and I was just like, yeah, this year just has to be the one.
Yeah.
So academically speaking, I went and I just did what I needed to do. And then with my creative stuff, again, that was the year I kind of transitioned from hobby to profession.
Okay.
So that was the year I think
getting
everything kind of
serious.
like started to change just a bit. It wasn't fully like, oh, I'm a fully like I'm doing this thing like professionally now, but it's like that's where I started to see a change in my attitude towards dance.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
Can you give us specific examples of the changes that made you take it from I enjoy this is something I do for fun to this is serious? Because some people are probably watching this episode thinking, okay, I want to make that transition too, but what does that even look like? Because I like to dance, I'm good at it, but what does taking it seriously look like?
So at the time, I didn't think I was good at it.
Okay.
I wanted to train more. That's why I
Right.
started taking more classes. I was shy. I was still shy. I didn't
Still?
want to, because I didn't really go to dance classes like that.
Okay.
It's different learning at home, being self-taught, which is kind of how I started doing it, to going into a space where you look at all these people that have been training in some cases, or some people that might be beginners, and it's like you feel nervous.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. You just feel nervous. And like, I already struggled with things like stage fright. Like, even starting to perform with Richie and stuff in uni times, I had to get over my stage fright and stuff. I would forget routines all the time. I would like, always, bro. Like, it's normal. But like, it wouldn't have changed if I didn't push to change
Keep
it.
going and keep trying.
Same thing with classes. Like, sometimes I might step in, I don't know, there's a thing where I step into a new space and I feel a bit nervous. It's okay. It's normal. You're only human. But how are you changing that? What are you doing towards changing that? So I said, okay, when I come back to London, I did tell TC 2017, said 2018 when I finish uni, I'm going to start training with you lot when I come back. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
And then slowly but surely started training more with Home Fam.
Love that.
So yeah, it's my training group. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened in terms of the training side of things. So I'm saying. I also said I wanted to like start thinking about things like branding.
Okay.
How do I want to like look from the outside? Because I didn't know that I wanted to start doing work with brands, because I knew that's where the money was at.
Okay.
So I was like, it matters how you look, what you're doing, things you're saying online and stuff. Like, people pay attention to these things.
PR training.
So I was still kind of like just starting off, but also very aware of these things.
Interesting.
And yeah, just being mindful of how I presented myself online. Try to keep it authentic, but at the same time, make myself marketable so that people would want to work with me.
How did you make yourself marketable?
I don't know, just being approachable, not being problematic online, profanity and cussing online, all that stuff. Like, being the kind of person that brands would not want to work with.
Not
Like,
being on the shade bar.
being like, do you know what I mean? Like, just being very careful about how you put yourself online. And like, a lot of the time, I'll just post my dance videos and go. It's just vibes. It's just what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
But how am I sort of putting myself in a unique lane from whatever else is happening in the scene to make brands even want to work with me in the first place? And so that's why I'm like very grateful for Nike even seeing the potential in me, because then that is always getting your foot in the door. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Once you start doing that, it's like, okay, yeah, now I know what I need to do. Now I know what sort of they like. Do you know what I mean? When I got that job, I had some conversations.
Okay.
I networked a bit. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I want to do more of this stuff. Like, how do I do more of this stuff? And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, slowly but surely you pay attention, you make notes of these things, and you work more.
And then
on
you
that.
apply them
And
as
then
you
you
go
apply them,
along.
yeah.
That's such an interesting, specific, and strategic way to approach such a creative career. Because sometimes, on one hand, I feel like creativity is just going with the flow, doing whatever. But I think there's an element of strategy to it. If you find something that works, you keep going. And the fact that you went beyond and you networked to find out, okay, what is it that you guys are looking for? How can I position myself to best add value to what it is you're looking for? I think has played a very big part in you having continuous success rather than just having one brand deal. It's like this brand deal, which probably led to this opportunity and this came out of it. But how did the Nike opportunity come about in the first place?
I don't know. It just felt really random.
Love that.
It was so like it felt random. It might not have been random because usually with the brands, like one thing you learn when you do work with brands is that they be watching you, like, and they'll be watching you longer than you even think. They'll come to you. I remember the first time I ever got presented a brief, and I saw my work in the brief, and I was like, "How the hell did you even see
Where
this?"
did you even get this from?
I was like, "Where'd you get this from? Like, why are you seeing this? Like, do you know what I mean?" But that's their process.
Yeah.
And ever since then, that's what those are kind of things that made me want to see what's happening on the other side.
Okay.
Hence the piquing my interest in marketing.
Marketing.
It wasn't always what I wanted to do. I was like, how does
How
this
did
work?
you even
Like,
find me like
do you know what I mean? I was
this? Yeah.
intrigued. Yeah. So when I see things like that and I'll see briefs and every single time it hit me with the same surprise as the first time.
Okay.
Like, you guys actually watch my stuff like this. Like, okay.
They're paying attention.
They're paying attention.
Thanks, guys.
So it's a constant reminder that you have to be mindful about how you're putting yourself out. Not just what you're doing it, but not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you thought it was random?
It felt very random at the time.
And they just emailed. What did the email say when they messaged? Wait, how did they even find your email?
Bruh, marketing 101. Put your contact somewhere. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, you never know when it's going to be, just so they have it. You know?
That was
So,
very intelligent.
Yeah, just via email. It was the agency that was in charge of it. I didn't really apply for it or anything. They saw me and they wanted me to champion the campaign, basically. So I was like, okay, cool.
Do you still have the campaign on your Instagram right now?
I might do. It might be one of my first posts up on that.
So you're going to have to scroll down and find
You
it.
have to scroll
Okay.
all the
Don't
way
worry,
down.
we'll find it for you guys.
Yeah,
We'll find it.
it was for the Vapor Max.
Oh, wow.
It was for the Vapor Max, yeah. So
That's
when they were doing their
incredible.
London campaign, I believe it was winter 2018.
Okay.
We worked on that.
So let's say there's a creator watching you or dancer specifically watching you that wants to tap into these brand deals. What solid practical steps and advice would you give them to get the money rolling? What's the formula?
Okay, so for me personally, because again, this ties in with what I was saying earlier, I don't think there's one fixed way to just have things work for someone. One thing that works for someone might not work as well for someone else, and vice versa. So I don't know. For me, I don't know if I had to give that advice to somebody, I would say learn the business side of what you're doing as well. Because if you're great at something, it's not just enough to be great at it. Find a way to make money from it. And in terms of finding a way to make money from it, the marketing is very important in this current day and age. How you put yourself out is very, very important, because you don't even have to be the best at what you do to make the most money or be the most successful. If you define success as the money that you make from it, which it isn't. But if that's what you're looking at, if that's the goal you're trying to get, I want to make money from what I do. Like, you have to market yourself in a way that's like, okay, cool. Like, you have to pay attention to me, bro.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm bringing something unique to the table. So definitely hone in on your craft. Be undeniable. Like, this is me. I do what I do, and you know I'm good at what I do. And on top of that, I have all these other things that I can offer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can maybe do this. I have a side skill. I have an adaptable skill here. Boom, boom, and I know how to market myself. So yeah, there's a lot to it, I guess. Yeah.
What did I tell you guys? I said you was going to be learning best from this episode. I hope you got your pens and paper out, because it's making sense. So we've got, let me see if I can recap that. You've got know your brand. You've got market yourself well and use social media. Be undeniable, know what you have to offer and your value. Yeah. That's 4 steps. I think that's quite solid on how to reach out. And do you reach out to these brands, or do they only reach out to you?
Initially, I did do some outreach, just because I didn't really know what to do 100%. So I'll just do what I could. Okay. I was only ever familiar with applying for jobs whenever I wanted a job.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's the mindset I took into the creative world as well. I said, okay, cool. I need to put together some form of like CV or something, like something that's like shows what I can do. And then just go and like, I don't know, speak to the agencies and brands or whatever, and just network and just wherever I can, just be accessible.
Yeah.
Because in the early days, you wanna be seen, and then slowly but surely you start filtering through like your options and stuff when the options present themselves. But yeah, in the initial days, in the early days, definitely you want to put yourself out there, and just kind of be open to trying out new things and learning, just being an open vessel.
Always being a student.
Yeah.
Every day is a learning day. So my old manager used to tell me. Is there anything that you did in your career that, looking back, you would have done differently? I don't like using the word regret, because I don't like people to think of things as regret, but is there anything that you look back and think, okay, I did that, knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done that? Or maybe done it just slightly differently? It's a hard question.
Can I flip it?
Yeah.
So I wish maybe I'd started training sooner.
Really?
Yeah. So something I wasn't doing, I wish I was doing.
Okay.
Just because, like, I was just shy, man. That's the only thing that stopped me from going to the studio and stuff. I was just shy. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like it also hindered my progress just a bit.
Yeah.
So like, just be unapologetic and just take that bold step, I guess, in whatever it is that you're doing to allow yourself to grow as much as you can. Don't be shy. Don't be your own biggest enemy. Do you know what I mean? Like, allow yourself to grow. Create room for yourself to grow. Because I think if I had started training sooner, my journey would have been maybe a lot different. I'd probably have more skills than I do have today.
Okay.
So, it's not a regret per se. I'm still happy with where I am and I'm still pushing. I'm always still learning and stuff. But like, if you're asking for one thing I would have done differently.
That's what you would have done differently.
Done that differently, yeah.
It's so hard that you said that because I can relate on such a big level. I think it's not necessarily because I'm shy. I think I don't like not being good at something. I don't like going into things knowing that there's a long way to go to become great. I usually start things that already I'm quite good at. Like presenting, I always love to talk. Always, as my dad loves to tell me. That was something that I was naturally wanted to do. And I feel like I regret not going to harder classes. The classes that I started going, because I started dancing when I was I think I was 19. I started going to classes when I was 19. And I only went to the classes that I knew I was good at. Like, it was good.
I understand, man.
Oh, but it's difficult.
I wouldn't advise that. Of course not. I wouldn't advise that. But yes, I also do hear it because we love to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We just love, naturally speaking, as humans, that we just like to be in a place where we don't like feel uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah.
But you never really grow in a place of comfort.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
and there's some people that will deliberately put themselves in uncomfortable situations, and it's almost like they're not paying attention to what they don't have. I think they're just focused on continuing to grow and continuing to practice means that I'm going to get better inevitably. And it's like, to get to that mindset is very difficult, especially I'm not blaming, but I say my upbringing definitely plays a part because I went to a school where automatically you'd be in top set, automatically you'd be in the top group, or the expectation is to excel. There's no starting from the bottom and working your way up. You automatically go to either the middle or you're one of the best. So like the feeling of being one of the weakest dancers in the class for me was so hard. And yeah, it's so weird because when you go to dance class, you're not actually focusing on anybody else. You're actually just focusing on yourself. And then if you apply that logic, it means no one else is watching you either. But it's still hard. But like, what encouraged you to keep on going and to keep going to training, keep going to classes, especially when you weren't necessarily the best or like really, really good?
I just remind myself why I started in the first place. Remember, I always said a running theme is always going to be my love for my craft. So as difficult as it might be, I know that regardless of what's happening, I know how dance makes me feel. Yeah. I know how it makes me feel. I'm not focused on the next person. For me, dance is therapy, bro. Genuinely speaking, I enjoy doing what I do. Nothing's going to change that. So that's why I keep going. On top of the fact that I want to improve and I want to be good at what I'm doing. Like, who doesn't want to be good at what they're doing? Putting their time and money, investing. It's essentially an investment.
It is.
So why would you not want to be good? Or why do you not want your investment to be the best it can be?
I like that.
So it's like, yeah.
That's a good mindset. Now we can finally talk about you being global and traveling the world. I love that for you. Did you ever expect this was going to happen wait, how old are you now?
Do we really need to disclose that?
Wait, what? I didn't know.
I'm playing. I mean, if you've done the maths already, you'll know. But I'm 28.
Really? When's your birthday?
October 31st.
Oh, so you just literally recently turned 20. Happy birthday.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
I have no idea what you just said.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Mr. International.
Bye.
De nada. See? I'm going to be in Spanish. Don't play with me, bro. Don't play. I'm going to be in Spanish. Don't play with me, man.
Yeah.
How many countries have you travelled to in total?
I was actually tallying this up yesterday. 21 now. Yeah.
That's madness.
21.
Did you grow up travelling a lot with family, going on family holidays?
No.
Really? So this...
I'd only been on a plane once by the age of like 17, 18.
Wow. And now, between that and 28, 21 countries.
Pretty much.
That's madness.
Yeah. Sierra Leone was the only country I'd been to in my childhood years.
Really?
I flew to. I'd been to France. That was a Eurostar. Whatever. So I'd been to 2 countries maybe. Next place I actually saw, I think it was France again and the Netherlands. Wow. Because of Richie. But That was it.
Can I make a confession with France? You know, when I was growing up, actually, I think I was 17. You know, when I went on the Eurostar, I thought, because my mom was like, it's a tunnel underground. I thought there was windows and you could see outside in the water when I was a kid. Or like when I was a teenager.
I can't lie. I understand why
you understand, because she said it's a tunnel and it goes underwater. I thought you'd see out the windows, because I'd taken a ferry to France before, and obviously I got to see the water. I thought this time go underneath, but that's...
Before you get to see the animals and stuff.
I thought you'd get to see sharks swimming. Like, you know, when you go to Aqua World and you go through the tunnel, I thought it was just like that. I was so disappointed when we stayed in the car.
That is hilarious.
Shameful.
Yeah, that's got to be a big downer when you realise that.
When I realised, it was absolutely shameful. Terrible.
Sorry, man.
But yeah, okay, travelling. What does it actually look like when you travel to teach in these countries? Like, take me from when you leave the UK, when you get there, what you do when you're there, and then coming back.
Every experience is unique, man.
Okay.
Like, you got to remember that, like, all these countries have different cultures, different sort of settings, environments, different people, different languages, different climates. Bro, every experience is different. Do you know what I mean? Some being more similar than others, but like, I will leave London, make my way to Stansted, or...
So we'll come back to the question. Can we rank the airports really quickly?
I hate Stansted. I hate Stansted so much.
No, do you know which one's the worst airport in London? Luton.
That's not even in London. Get to Luton. That name, London Luton, needs to change right now.
Luton is the worst airport.
But
then Stansted, then Heathrow. Gatwick's the best.
Heathrow's better than Gatwick. Yeah, Heathrow's
I can't stand Heathrow.
better than Gatwick.
Back to the question. I really had to get that out there.
It's calm. It's fine. We'll leave it to the public.
Thank you.
Cool. So I would leave, head to the airport. Depending on how long I'm staying, obviously I'll be lugging whatever I'm lugging. Generally speaking, it'd be for like a weekend or something, for an event. And yeah, I'll fly to said place, arrive at said place. The organisers will arrange transportation. And then, maybe head to my accommodation if I have time, see the city or whatever. Usually I'll come like the day before the event. I'll have time to like obviously do some touristy stuff. I don't always have the most time though.
Okay.
And then get down to the nitty gritty. So teaching workshops, depending on what they require of me. If it's like foundation, a lot of time it's choreography.
Okay.
But just whatever it might be.
So you would have had to prep that choreography before getting there?
On paper, yes.
No, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
There's been times where I've created routine that morning. There's been times where that morning I've created routine. And I'm going to class and I'm like...
Very good.
God, look out for your children. Because, no, generally speaking, I've done it. I'll be honest. But I know better. Like, I wouldn't do it anymore. But yeah, like I've kind of gone through that and like, no, that's not the best
now
thing to
it's
do.
You can't do that no more.
Yeah, so like I'll prep what I need to do. I'll have my lesson notes. Just have like some sort of direction in which I want to take the class. And I'm constantly, even though I'm teaching, like I'm constantly learning what to do, what not to do, how to improve, and I'm constantly seeking feedback from students always. Because like, again, everyone learns differently. Do you know what I mean? At the most general sort of look at it, it's like everyone takes information in differently. So finding the best way to give information across in the space of maybe 90 minutes, sometimes less than that, 75 minutes.
Really?
Sometimes less than that. Yes, sometimes you might just have an hour.
Wow.
Sometimes you might have 3 hours.
Okay.
You don't actually know. So it's like just figuring out how to structure your class based on what the people need.
Okay.
Not just what you want to teach.
Okay. So it's about you, your focus point is your students and the people that have come to learn rather than what you want to give out there.
Yes. Because at first it was like, oh, hey, hi, I have this I want to give to you. Great, lovely. But it's not always necessarily what they need. So it's like just striking that balance, because obviously you're not going to have stuff that you wouldn't want to give anyway. So obviously you'll teach things that you want to teach. But at the same time, it's not just solely about that.
Yeah.
You want to give people what you feel like is missing or what you feel like they can benefit from, that has some form of value that they can take from that class and go and like use somewhere else. If it's for their own personal needs or in a commercial space, or if it's in whatever space it might be. If they themselves are teachers, something that them as other professionals can take
can
and learn
take
as well.
on. It's adding value to a bunch of people, which I think is an amazing thing to do, because you get to kind of sprinkle your talent and your energy in all these different countries, and people get to experience what it's like to be taught by you. But you don't just teach abroad, you actually teach in the UK as well. How's that been going?
It's been good. Like, I would hate to feel like I'm neglecting my UK people as
Do
well.
you know
So
what
like,
I
I
mean?
try to, I don't have a regular weekly class, but I do try to like teach at different levels as well. Like, not just like people that are like, oh, hey, I've been dancing for like 5 to 7 years and I need something very, very challenging. But like, even people that maybe just started dancing yesterday, like, I like to do a mix of things where it's like I'm catering to the needs of the people in the community as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's not always like going to be like the most challenging stuff that I teach, but at the same time, I like to feel like everyone can get something from my classes.
Yeah.
And not just be disheartened because we're doing the most complicated stuff.
And
it's
we're
like,
just all
I
sweating
can't
at
even get
the
one
back.
stop. Yeah, like they're at the back. Sometimes you see it in the class. You're at the front of the class and you just sense an energy from the back. It's like,
Please.
like, look out for me. So it's like, yeah. It's like trying to make sure everyone feels included and creating that safe space for everyone. You know?
I like that. I'm that person in the class that will ask the teacher to do it again, because I know I'm speaking for the people. I'm the people's person, spokesperson in the dance class. But what's the biggest difference between teaching in London and teaching abroad in all these different countries?
Language.
Okay.
100% language.
Okay.
That's the main thing, the language and accents. The one thing I constantly, since from the day I started teaching till now, that I get, your accent, oh my goodness, can you slow down? Oh my goodness, I don't get the way you, oh my goodness, blah, blah. Bro, to this day.
But you don't have an accent. You don't.
I don't, but you need to remember, foreigners learn American English.
Also, they're like, when you're teaching, you gotta like speak like
you gotta speak like this.
Totally
like,
like
gotta,
slow it
totally.
down.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
And the tones and the ups and the downs. Oh, goodness me.
So they learn, you know, English is very like, some words, because of how you pronounce them, sound like different words.
Okay.
Sound like you're speaking a different language.
Water.
Water. Water. For them, it's like 2 different words you're saying.
It's
so it's
true.
like, slow it, because on top of that, I speak fast. So,
No, you've been doing well on the show. You've been speaking.
bro, so on top of that, I speak fast. So it's like, it's even harder for them to understand.
Okay.
So sometimes it's not like they don't understand maybe what I'm saying. Sometimes it is, they don't understand what I'm saying. But on top of that, sometimes it's like, slow down, you're speaking too fast.
Please, Mr. Teacher, Mr. Johnny, can you say that again slow, please?
Yeah. So I've been working on it. That was one of my goals at the start of this year.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds mundane, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So it's like, to just like,
What other challenges, or like what are some of the misconceptions that people might have about what it is to teach internationally? Because someone might turn around and be like, oh, you just get to travel the world and just teach a class and then go home and da-da-da-da.
Misconception number 1 for me is the fact that people think I'm on holiday every time I travel.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't.
This guy's on holiday again.
No, I think it's like it's just innate. Like, people just see you catching a flight. Oh, you're away from London. You're on holiday.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not like that.
You're
bro.
actually working.
It's work, bro. Like, it's physically taxing. It's physically taxing. The journeys alone are taxing. Not to mention you're traveling. Sometimes my body might see 3 different time zones in the space of a week. So it's like, it's a lot. My body's already confused. My body clock's already confused. Not to mention now, I am teaching workshops sometimes back to back. And in between, it's not even much of a break, because just because of the way I am, I like to get the most out of my trips.
Yeah.
So I'll do my touristy stuff, or I might make content. Like, sometimes I might do visuals and stuff or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Which on top of that, again, is still
That's
taxing.
still, yeah.
So it's like, I'm not really on holiday like that. I get it. It can be fun.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a fun trip and a holiday.
Yeah.
I'm making it a fun trip because I'm making it that. It's still work.
I'm gonna steal that. Do you know why? Because I think when this is kind of off like side topic. When I'm doing work, I go to premieres quite a lot. Go to a lot of movie prems, and I'm working there. And because I'm having a good time, I think my dad doesn't think that it's work. I'm gonna tell him that. I'm gonna just show him that clip.
It's still work.
It's still work. I'm having a good time.
Papa, please. Oh. It's still work, oh. Please. I know if you're showing this one, please just It's still work, oh, please. It's fun, but it's work.
I'm enjoying myself, but it's still work. Oh, I love that. Can I ask a bit of a personal question? When it comes to dancing, especially full time, is it financially sustainable? Are you able to do this full time and actually, live a standard average London life, especially with cost of living crisis and all that stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
you are. However, it's challenging.
Okay.
It's very challenging. Yes. There'll be periods where you're good, like you're fine. There'll be periods where you have to pocket watch.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's I think being a creative in London with the whole cost of living. I know we say it every day, but it's genuinely a real life struggle. And people back home think we have it easy.
Always
They
asking
think
for money. Yeah.
Always asking for, bro, the responsibilities that come with being diasporan. Oh my goodness. Wow. But yeah, as a creative, definitely I think you can make it. But this is why learning the business behind what you do as well is so important.
Okay.
Because some people learn to be good at what they do, but they don't learn how to make money from what they do. So you learn to be great. Yes, you're great at what you do. I can't take that away from you. Yes, you are undeniable. But in terms of monetizing your craft, there's a disconnect.
Okay.
So you have to I think business is, I feel like it's a life skill.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a life skill. I feel like for someone who might not necessarily want to work under someone for the rest of your life, someone who's entrepreneurial, someone who might, be trying to figure out themselves or whatever in terms of their own craft and trying to make money from that. Yeah, you have to have
know.
business as one of your life skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Is there any tips on money management? Like you said, some months they're higher, some months are lower. Is there any practical money management skills that you could give to people that maybe are going into full-time creativity?
I'm still learning myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is an area where I could improve as well. Again, just me being honest. But I feel like save your money. Save your monies, man. Save with the intention not to just spend it when you want.
Okay.
Save with the intention to spend when you actually genuinely need to tap into that money. So having a rainy day fund is key as a creative. I would say what's it, that 30-70 rule something?
Yes.
So if you're getting an invoice from something, even if it's not 30-70 because of maybe your responsibilities or whatever, 50-50 at least.
Yeah.
Put half of it away. And then the other 50, maybe from that you can, I don't know, pay for your videographer if you're a dancer or get your food or your travel for whatever. But that should be getting covered anyway sometimes, depending on what you're doing. But sometimes you might need to spend. So that's what you kind of spend. And then that other 50 now for your other things in life that you actually need to use it for, if you have bills and stuff or whatever.
Housing, water.
But ideally that should become the first 50 and the other 50 should just be savings.
Okay.
So it's
Interesting. And are you able to share a little bit about how you manage, especially paying yourself taxes and all that good stuff? Because I feel like it's not common knowledge, and I feel like the dancers that are successful with money, get brand deals, are sustainable on being a full-time creative. It's almost like you have to ask others in the industry to know how to manage your money. Because obviously, if you're employed full-time, your work pays your taxes for you. You manage your money. How do you manage all that?
Yeah, you just got to do the research, I guess.
Okay.
Find someone who's maybe done it before you or whatever and just ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're unsure about something, just ask.
I'm going to be asking those questions. I'm asking you guys on YouTube. Okay, cool. Back to traveling. Which of the countries would you say has left the most impact on you and why?
This is a tough one.
Now you can only say one.
Can only say one?
You can only say one.
Can you narrow down the question? Because it still feels a bit broad.
Okay.
Different countries impact me in different ways.
Okay, fine. Instead, I'll broaden it. Tell me how 3 countries have impacted you and why.
If we're not going to just say solely countries.
Thank you.
I was going to say Spain and I was going to say Japan.
Okay.
And recently, Kazakhstan.
Okay, let's do those 2 then.
Yeah.
Compromise.
So Kazakhstan, for me, was just a wholesome trip, man. I loved it because the community was one of the warmest communities that I've been welcomed into in all my time that I've been traveling and dancing or whatever. They showed me so much love out there, genuine love, not just, he's not from here, let's show him love. They were genuinely, we had so many conversations with so many members of the community. They were just so hungry to learn. The talent there is crazy. And it's the how do I say it? The drive. Because I was there judging a competition and teaching there. So just seeing how hungry people were to again, that competitive spirit, which sometimes can be bad, but in that case was very good because people were supporting each other and all this, boom, boom. Yeah, man, it was just so I don't know, it just felt so good.
Okay.
Energies don't lie.
Yeah.
And for me, I resonated with that.
Yeah.
So I was it felt nice. Spain, that sense of community. Again, when you go there, the time of year that I go there for camp to train, everyone's there with a similar mindset, bro. We're here to get it.
Yeah.
We're here to get it. So everyone's locked in. everyone's just, the energy's so like, it's on a high, the weather's nice. Like, the people there as well, like I see a lot of my friends, like a lot of my international friends in there, because a lot of them come together around there. So just that feeling like home. Yeah, feeling like home. So it feels really nice.
I love that.
And then vibes, enjoyment. Like there's a lot to do there as well. There's a lot to do. So it's quite enjoyable as a trip, as a holiday as well, if we to call it.
Just being outside.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
And Japan, Tokyo, favorite city in the world.
Is it?
Favorite city in the world.
Okay.
I love how it looks. I love the aesthetic. I love the fashion there. I love the language. I haven't learnt it fully yet, but I just love hearing it, and I love like learning about it and stuff.
You're learning Japanese?
I mean, I know I'm learning some things.
Oh, that's so cool.
I don't really know the language, because even the alphabet itself is mad hard to like learn. But like it's just I love hearing it. I love learning about the culture. The country's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I want to see more than Tokyo. Country's very beautiful. And man, like the people, they're really nice as well.
Yeah.
The people are really nice.
Very clean as well.
Very clean city.
So I've heard,
Tokyo, very clean. Yeah,
I mean, if you guys want to sponsor me, that's the tea special in Tokyo. Tea's Tokyo, let's do it.
Yeah. Australia was also really nice as well, by the way.
We can slap Australia in there.
Australia was really nice as well. Like it reminds me of Sydney and Melbourne-ish both kind of remind me of London.
Really?
Yeah, Sydney for the way the dance scene is like built up, constructed, but Melbourne because of like just the look of the city. And
it's very
like,
London-like.
Yeah.
It's not London weather, I hope.
Melbourne, yes.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, Melbourne. Sydney kind of just a bit better, I think. But,
okay. And I'm curious, you see, with traveling, is this something you plan to do again in 2025, 2026, 2027?
Yes, actually, funny enough, so I did mention leaving my previous agency. I do plan to do more dance-centered work. Okay. Just because in the last 18 months, the way I branded sort of myself has kind of shifted more towards teaching and like teaching. Teaching. Like, but I do want to showcase more of what I can do outside of teaching. Yeah. Just because anyone who might be new to me in the last 18 months or so, because there has been a lot of, I would say, growth in that time, might not be familiar with everything else I'm capable of doing. Okay. In terms of like creatively. Yeah. So I'm just like, cool. I'm going to bring back the visual projects. I want to bring back like the ads. I want to bring back some of that stuff. I want to do more of that stuff because I've been teaching and traveling so much. I haven't really had as much time to do. Yeah. So I will still be traveling. However, I do plan to do some more projects. So I'm not going to exactly get into the details of the projects.
Don't worry, you will see. We'll see. So, but we can confirm that there's stuff cooking in the works. Yeah, we're
in the kitchen, man.
We love that.
We never left the kitchen.
I love that. Exclusive, that's the tea.
Turn on the other stove.
Okay.
We'll come back to this one now.
You're bringing it back. Oh, we look forward to seeing it in 2025. And a question that I just love asking my dancers is, if you had to describe your current dance journey in an era, what era would you say you're in right now?
One more time, sorry. I was too busy turning the tea.
Oh, thank you. The brand placement. It's giving product placement. You see where the tea is everywhere. What era would you describe your current dancing journey in right now?
Era or area?
Era. Like, you know when you say, okay, I'm in my bag era. What era would you say you are in dancing career-wise?
I'm in my bag era is crazy.
Do the people say that? Wait, do they say that? I'm in my bag era.
You just mixed two different things together. You say I'm in my something bag or I'm in my something era. Oh. No, I'm in my bag era.
All right, guys, I'm in my bag era, please.
You're good. I am. You know what? Right now, I'm really enjoying like teaching. I'm really enjoying choreographing. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy it. That is probably like, a lot of the time people tend to ask, would you prefer, choreographing, performing, teaching, whatever. Like, I think right now I do really enjoy teaching more than like anything. Okay. Yeah, so that's the era I'd say I'm in right now. Like this last year has been, if you ask anyone what I do in dance, the first thing they'll probably tell you is teaching and traveling. So yeah, but I do want to obviously find a way to like bring back more stuff that,
the other stuff you can do.
Yeah, I've been doing some performances here and there as well. Like, and yeah, man, like, just doing more stuff. Yeah.
How are you honestly managing though, like the avoiding burnout and just being exhausted and just needing time away from all of it? Because it's quite intense. Back-to-back travel alone on holiday is quite a lot, unpacking, packing. But just like the taxing and the mental element of it all, how are you managing that?
Rest is important, man. Just as long as you, in your schedule, in your busy schedule, however busy your schedule might be, scheduling some rest as well. I try to at least like have a massage once a month.
Oh.
Yeah, like the Thai massages.
Okay.
Yeah, second to none.
Right
Like when I was in Japan, I had one. And like just having vacations when you can or whatever. Like for me, I had my birthday vacation in Korea or whatever. But even outside of that, locally, like if I know I'm gonna have a busy week, cool. Like a day or two, I can just chill and like recharge. Now obviously the issue came where like I was working full time and also dancing. And I was like, oh, that's when I experienced burnout.
Okay.
I was like, there's no real time to rest like that. If you want to get stuff done, you have to
be doing both. Yeah.
So life is just on go mode. So times like that can get really tough. That's just like, I guess in your days, you have to like split up your days a bit, incorporate rest like a bit more regularly. Whereas if you have 3 days, sometimes give yourself a free day or something. You know what I'm saying? And be strict with it. Like if you have a free day, make it a free day. Like
don't now start scheduling anything because it's your free day.
Yeah. So
guilty.
Because you won't see it happen until your body wakes you up and tells you, yo, hold on, chill, like take your foot off the gas. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And you have to listen to your body.
Also, what's that saying? Rest before your body forces you to rest.
Your body will force you to rest. Literally, knowledge.
That's some good advice. So you're now 28, almost 30, 2 years to go. Are there any milestones that you want to hit by 30, or are you just going with the flow right now?
This might sound like, okay, it's not stupid, but like it's just, for me, it's just one that I want to hit 30 countries before 30.
Oh, I don't think that. I think I love that. Like you see the Forbes 30 under 30. It's the same vibe.
I guess, yeah. You could say that, yeah.
You've only got 9 left to go.
Only 9, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I feel that's doable. If you split it, that's what? That's like 4 in 1 year and 9 in another.
Wow. All right, guys, we are signing off. Thank you for joining us. That was wonderful.
It was. Do you know what it was? It was the pressure of everybody looking at me.
It's been lovely.
I meant to say 4, because do you know what the problem? I did 9 divided by 2, and I said no, I can't do that. So it's 4 in 1 year, 5 in the other.
I get it.
And 5 rhymes with 9.
Your mouth went faster than your brain could.
Yeah. I like it when my guests are understanding.
It's fine, don't worry, man. But yeah, no, 30 countries. I want to hit 30 countries. Just because, like, what better time to travel than now? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, in my 30s, like, I might still have time to travel and stuff, but I'm just seizing the moment.
Yeah. Any particular countries that you want to see?
I would like to visit Dubai. Yeah, I'd like to visit Dubai.
Been already.
Never been. I'd like to visit Portugal. I've never been to Portugal.
Oh, Portugal is amazing. You'd love that.
Yeah, and South America is somewhere that I need to tap into.
That's a shout. Wait, you haven't been to any countries in South America?
Never been to South America.
Okay, I think it can be done. Yeah. We'll come back. We'll have you back round after it's at 30, and we'll talk about the ones that you managed to do. Yeah, but I love that. So you've actually kind of already answered about the projects we can be expecting from you, without obviously saying what we can expect. What can we be looking forward to seeing from you in 2025?
I think from me, just gonna see a hungry Johnny, man. Just gonna see, like, I'm just gonna be doing things that maybe even I might not necessarily usually do, to just to like push myself to just keep growing, and like just learning new things, because I never want to be like just too comfortable and stagnant, you know.
Yeah.
So in 2025, I just want to like explore.
Yeah.
So I'll take exploration.
I love that. And what's one piece of advice that you'd want to give people watching your episode today?
Always remember why you started. Sometimes you might have a dry patch, you might have a period where I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore, bro. Genuinely speaking, you'll be in your room, sat on your bedside like this, like, is this for me?
Yeah.
Like, can I do this? Just remember why you started in the first place. It sounds corny, but I promise you, sometimes you just need to have that moment where you can just sit down and breathe and remember why you fell in love with what you do in the first place. If it's dance, if it's whatever it might be, like, because for me, that's what keeps me going sometimes, when I'm like, it might feel like it's a lot or too much. I'm just like, yeah.
I love that. Oh, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Guys, can we please give Johnny a round of applause for being in the studio? Guys, thank you so much for watching the That's the Tea show today. We will see you next week. I can't believe it. The countdown is beginning. We're almost at the mid-season finale. But make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, follow Johnny on all his social media platforms, and we'll see you same time, same place, Tees Tuesdays at 6 p.m.
Woo!
Bye, everyone!
Yeah.